Good work, good work. So we go one more time through our whole practice. We come to our practice, and we begin with that humbling meditation. You take a second in your crazy day, maybe the first second that you decide to honor yourself in throughout the whole day, maybe. Maybe you're one of those people that honors themselves most of the day. Good for you too. Maybe it's the first time that you actually say, okay, I'm going to take a time and see what's going on with me. Right? Because we're all such production machines, right? We're always producing something, right? We all have our jobs and our realities. And we're always trying to, we're always producing something. And that's excellent, right? Because that kind of brings some, that creates some value. It creates something for society, I guess. So that's pretty good. However, when you start your practice and you sit in that meditation, you take a second to kind of analyze or feel what the whole day did, what the effects of the whole day were. It's a really interesting exercise to just sit there and see what you created inside of you. Because a lot of the times what we produce is outside of us. Right? So, sometimes we're even producing for someone else in exchange for a salary. Cool, right? But what is that creating within us, right? And are we getting paid enough? That's the ultimate question. But without looking at your own salary at this point, look at what that creates. Right? And then look at now what your practice creates. How do you feel now compared with at the beginning? Okay. And I'm going to ask you to avoid using better or worse. Okay? But instead make an independent analysis of what you feel like now. Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Do you feel very emotional? Do you feel emotionally calm? Do you feel mentally calm? Do you feel mentally provoked? What do you feel? Do you feel open? Do you feel tight? How do you feel? Budokon is a particular practice, right? It's interesting because it demands the use of your three bodies, or your three main bodies, for you to carry the practice, right? Your mind, your body, and your spirit, right? Your subtle body, your gross body, and your causal body. So once you start really moving with those three bodies integrated, it creates a very particular feeling. And that is kind of the feeling that you're going through now. Okay? Of course, it's going to be a little bit of a different flavor for each one of us. But, right, when you ask, maybe for the first time in the day, for your mind, your body, and your spirit to have the same intention and to put their attention in the same place, you notice that if your mind is wandering, it's really hard to do Budokon. Because Budokon requires a certain degree of coordination. Right? If your spirit's not in it, like if you really don't feel like doing it today, it really shows in your practice, right? It really shows. Not that anyone here was in that place, but just saying. And then if your body is not there, oh well, of course it's going to be very challenging to do it. So once we start reintegrating those three bodies, your mind, your body, and your spirit, which through our daily traditional social lives, they get disintegrated, right? Because your body is here, and your mind is on the phone talking to someone else, or it's on Facebook talking to 3 million friends that you got, right? Or it's doing something else, and your spirit wishes you were on the beach. So we like dividing ourselves like that, and and you see what feelings those creates, right? Sometimes we feel stressed by it, and of course, your body doesn't like being disintegrated, doesn't like being separated. So, short of everyone go ahead and quitting your job, I invite you to, maybe during the day, maybe lunch break, right? Lunch break is supposed to be a break. Some of us continue to work through lunch break. Really make it about you. See how far your mind, your body, and your spirit went from each other, and see if you can reintegrate them. That's why I like allowing you guys to meditate for a good 5 to 10 minutes before we start moving. Because it gives you a chance to bring those bodies together and to set an intention. Right? The very first level of Budokon is matching your intention with your attention. Right? Putting your desires and your energy together. On putting your thoughts and your attention to the same thing. Right? So give yourself the gift of that. Give yourself the gift of meditating a little bit during the day. It takes a couple minutes. It doesn't take very long. And you feel it. You feel when you're done. You're like, okay, I feel better now. Or I feel reintegrated. And you can move on again. And see how you feel, right? See how you feel. Budokon is a science. As much as it is an art, it's a science. And it's a science of studying how you live. Right? Like we do with nutrition. We pay attention to, okay, we eat something, whatever it is, and we pay attention to how we feel after that. Right? Like we do with nutrition, maybe you can do with your meditation. Okay, you do your meditation, you monitor. Okay, how do I feel right after that? Oh, I feel pretty good. Okay, cool. Should I do it more often? Should I gift myself that? Maybe you can use it kind of like, okay, I get this thing done, I get this email done, and then I meditate for a couple of minutes. Maybe it could be like a little prize for you. You know, make it really exciting. And little by little we start integrating ourselves back. And that way you can feel you can experience what it feels like to work as an integrated being. Right? Because we all work. But do we have to be someone else when we're at work? Do we have to behave differently? I know you love doing this. Can you do this while you're at work? Can you do Budokon all the time? You can. Do you choose to? If you really want to get good at this practice, if you really want to get really good at it, I recommend that you start living it. That you start bringing it to everything you do. Not just to your mat, not just to the standard, you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7:30 to 9:30, that's it. And some of you have already done that. Okay, you have brought it to the rest of your life. And you know what that's done for you. So I recommend everyone to give it a shot, to experiment with it. If it brings you pain and suffering, oh please stop doing it. But if it brings you joy and abundance, I recommend you continue to do it. That is the best thing you can do for the art. If you want to get back to the art somehow, other than by training and training and training, I recommend that you start living and living and living that. Remember that the way that you do anything is the way that you do everything. So you can start living just like you train. Because that's really why we practice, so that we can change our lives. If everyone here lives a better life, we all make the world a better place to be. If we want to change the world, we've got to start by changing ourselves a little bit. Start changing the way you think, and see what happens.